ليش 15؟ 5 1.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome all of you, wherever you are. I welcome you with the second part of Fatwa Life that comes to you from Masjid Mishkah on the second day of Ramadan. Something came to me before Maghrib, after Maghrib a few minutes, from Maryland. The person is asking, a young man, he's 21 years old, a non-Muslim. He came and asked about an advice. He had adultery with a colleague with him, and she got pregnant from him, and she's in the 6th week, and she's not a Muslim. And she want to have abortion to get rid of the baby after 2 days. And he wants to keep the baby. Can the Muslim give an advice to a non-Muslim about the Islamic opinion in a matter like this? And would that help him when he is committing a great sins like shirk and so on? And what advice do we give him? Do we give him an advice to get married and keep the baby, or the abortion because there is no soul in it, and then the kid, they're always fighting, by the way. Or tell him to learn monotheism and to invite him to Islam, or Islam and both, or no advice at all. The answer, my dear brothers, Islam is Allah's mercy on humanity. It's okay to give the advice to non-Muslims with the hoping that he will become a Muslim. When you found him, that you stood by him, especially in a difficult time. And he will see the mercy of Islam, Allah's wisdom in his decrees. And maybe that will be something that will enhance his heart to Islam. Anyway, the abortion, even though it's not the origin, but it is allowed until the 6th, when there is a need and there is desperate need. And the advice for both of them is Islam and to get married. If they get married, then they have gained a lot. They have gained this life and the hereafter. Even though it's I would like it, still it is okay. As long as he knows it's his child, and maybe he could use the DNA to prove that. And this is from the calamities that in this society, that may Allah protect us from everything that He decreed, and to prevent us from these kind of difficulties. Does a woman take her permission from her husband when she donates the organ? If it is during the life, she could ask for his permission, because this affect her. That will make a deficiency. So she should not accept with his permission, because the husband, he have the right in his wife, and he do not. He don't want anything that going to affect their relationship. After the death, if she is put it in her will to donate her organs, it is more open and flexible. Or the husband, if he is jealous and he wants nobody to see the parts of his wife, and to expose her to that, so it is appropriate that they will consult with each other and agree on this, inshallah. It is better for the heart of her husband, and it's good to keep a good effect on her husband. And Allah knows the best. And aunt, she is 47 years old. Her period still, when it comes to her, it will be a lot of blood and continues, does not stop for 2 weeks or sometimes a month. She went to different doctors. She had a problem with her eternal one, and she need to do a surgery to take her wombs out. What does she do in Ramadan? With the eldest time, the period changes without a doubt, because the period is that blood that comes out and with its characters of color and smell. If it is there, then there is a period. If not, it's stopped. The maximum, it is 15 days on the scholars. Anything beyond that is called the blood of istihada, meaning it is from an illness, not from her period. And since the doctor already told that she has her wombs problems and she need to have her vasectomy, that's blood of illness. So she will worship by purifying herself by fasting, and she could even have intercourse with her husband, but she needs to make wudu for every prayer. Another person, his friend gave him some money. Can one of them make the condition to pay the zakah on the money? I give you the money, but you take the zakah on my behalf. Meaning he prevented from invested if it is in his hand. And he wants to take the whole money and not to, meaning that he wants the zakah to come out of the person who took the loan. So the answer, he cannot put the condition. Any increase that is conditioned on the loan, it is riba, that without a doubt. The loan in Sharia is not except in a good, meaning he wants to take the harm money or the hardship on someone, and he expects the reward from Allah, who gives the great reward. It was narrated that Imam Ahmad and others that the Prophet ﷺ said in the loan that the loan will be the same thing like the charity. So when you give somebody a loan, you have given a charity. So if you give someone who is in hardship, so have the glad tidings of a great reward from Allah. Whomever gives someone a break for who has a hardship, Allah will help him. Also, another question about zakah. The company of Saturn to zakah, and it says that the shares is the best investment. They want to put the shares on the agricultural land. So the zakah, it will be in the production, not on the origins. So the answer, I don't know what is this company, Saturno or other. It is just a general name, does not make me rule on this matter. But I will give you the general rules. The shares, you pay the zakah of the merchant contracts in principal and profit. as long as they have money that is required in the zakah, and they have loans and they have debt and they have everything. So which one you have to pay? It's what is equal to the increased money in that company, not the fixed principles. Meaning what you, and it was evaluated here in the West, 1/3 of the company, the 1/3 of the value of the share. The In the East, you have to look at the expert. That's if that company is not in a big having a financial problem, she cannot pay its debt. But if required for to pay, it is a service company, don't have money to that is required the zakah, so you only the income. So the service companies, you pay the zakah of what is used, not on the money that produced it. Like you are renting cars, how you do that? You don't go into the car, but you take the income and you count the zakah or content the Hijri year, because that's what Allah Azza wa Jal put our standard for people. They're asking about the month or the crescent. It is times for people for timing and Hajj. And if it is difficult, then you do the miladi, but you take the difference between the days of the two calendars. So what is required on the Hijri is 125, and the other one is 2.575. That's on the money, the cash money, and gold and silver. But if it is half of the tenth, like in the agriculture, so other what will be 5.156. If it is tenth, because it's use the rain, it's a different. It's, and Allah knows. So what is the sleep that's going to void the wudu? Some people you get very sleepy during the traveling. They say, did we go into sleep or not? Is our wudu voided or no? It will be if it is where you have no feeling, the deep sleep that you don't feeling, because of what narrated. Safwan ibn Affan al-Muradi said, the Prophet ﷺ used to order us, if we are traveling, not to take our khuf, the socks, for 3 days and 3 days and night. Instead, you have janaba. So sleep, if you oversleep, then you have no feeling of the surrounding. Is in sleeping, is anything for the fasting if you slept on janaba and you woke up after the adhan? Not a problem, inshallah. You need to just do the ghusl so he could pray, but his fasting is okay. Is the steam that comes out of cooking with the spices, does it avoid the fasting? No. This is a problem for women and those cooks, even tasting the food, but not to avoid swallowing. A cook, the woman, they could taste the food, but do not swallow, just to taste it and spit it out. Is there this incense and cologne waste the time? No. You have, but that is not a problem. So if someone promised Allah that he will leave the sin, but he broke it, and does he do another, or is it have to be the swearing? It's another, and he just make the kafarat yameen and to repent. For someone who lives in the Medina Munawwara, and what is what does he need to know? He need to control himself from the whispering, to clean his inside like he does the exposed. So he will not get the effect. Someone bid charity to an organization, then he knew that percentage goes to management. No, no, it's if they have spent that money. السجاد. ظبطت السجاد. اوكي if that percentage that they spend into administrative fees, it's okay, because if they have an expansion in their expenses that is not acceptable, they are and responsible for that. Ask Allah the successful. Last question. How does a person get rid of the envy from others? Does it come in the person if he mention it? Anyway, Allah, the Prophet said, do not envy each other. Do not envy each other. And the way to get rid of it, to ask Allah the Almighty to relieve you from this hardship. The Prophet ﷺ said to say, oh, guard my heart to the right, and take my inside the cheating and the envy and hatred, and cleanse my soul from hatred, envy, and cheating. And the best way to do that is by reciting Quran, remembrance of Allah, to read in the Prophet ﷺ his seerah on how he stayed away from envy, even for his enemies and the companions and those who followed. You always ask Allah's refuge from the shaitan regime, and to work in something that's gonna keep you away from the whispering of the shaitan. If the shaitan covered you of envy, so make sure it does not show in your action or your tongue what shows envy, because for every person he got a part of the hasad, the envy. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah said nobody is free of envy. The honorable will leave it, and the miserable he will show it. And the heart diseases, Allah will not put you accountable for what you talk to yourself, but what you action or what you do. As we know at the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, as long as you didn't do it or say it. With that we conclude. Subhanakallah, alhamdulillah, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.